That's a little better.
Okay, we live, man. Let's get it popping.
That's-
It's yours.
Whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this? Welcome back to another episode of the Multiverse. I am your host, Bad Ty, with my co-host, none other than
It's Tyrone Thornhill every
Tyrone
week.
Thornhill, man.
Same
Every
Tyrone.
Week, same old Ty, man. Every week. Hey, man, it's another week, man. Glad to be here, man. How was your week, man?
It's been good. It's been busy. You know, we had the Star Wars show yesterday, and the weekend I had my first live show back. That went really well.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I got another one tomorrow at the Geek Easy. You know, I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit and plug that. But yeah, man, it's getting back to these busy weeks where where things are stacking up, and it's not just like, how can I keep myself busy for a whole week, that kind of thing. It's
how can I catch a break? Oh no, we've lost Tyrone Thornhill within the first 2 minutes of the show. This is not a good look. All right, well, while we wait for Tyrone to get back, there's been a lot going on in the news this week. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention.
That should be the only time that happens.
It's like we lost you, man. But I know you've been paying attention to the news. First things first, before I even address that guy.
Yeah.
It is Teachers Appreciation Week. We must appreciate our teachers. Let's give our teachers a big round of applause, because they are the ones that mold our youth. And they well, I hope they're molding our youth. I don't know what's going on. I mean, a lot of teachers have been doing things. But my wife is a teacher, and I want to definitely go ahead and shout her out, because I know she takes a lot of pride in what she does and molding young minds and whatnot. So we definitely want to appreciate teachers, let you know that you are appreciated, and that we definitely hope that you guys continue the hard work that you do. It is also Cinco de Mayo. Okay.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who celebrates, everybody who's not celebrating, it is still a holiday. But we want to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody on Cinco de Mayo as well. And now that we've got those shout outs out of the way, let's talk about your ex-president, Tyrone. Let's talk about Trump, man, and how he's trying to get back on Facebook, man. Did you see this, man? Like he's like really over here trying to get back on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you literally tried to incite a fucking war. Like, dude. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and he's pissed. He is pissed that he didn't get back on. Like he is really pissed. Like, there's no other outlets other than Facebook for you to perpetuate whatever it is you want to perpetuate.
Yeah, well, Facebook was a valuable tool for him to spread misinformation and to to get people believe in stuff that they had no business believing, and getting mad at their grandkids and stuff like that for being snowflakes and all that other stuff. Facebook was the main tool that he was using for that, and his reach has grown smaller because of the fact that he doesn't have a direct line into the brains of people. Just want to, he's flailing. He's flailing a little bit.
Now, see this, as you can see here, it appears as Facebook user, but I do believe that's Mati.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Mati, is this you, the Facebook user? I don't know why it appears as a Facebook user, but it doesn't tell me who that is. But I do believe that's Mati. And Mati, I am not surprised that if this is you, that you are a Westover High special need teacher, because you have had about 37 jobs that I know about. Like you like literally are trained in everything. Look, the one and only. Yes, the one and only. So you are literally trained in everything that is known to man. I mean, there's nothing you can't do. You are the MacGyver of employment, So shout out to you, Madi. I'm sure you were a wonderful teacher, as you are a person. And I also want to say what up to Lisa As always,
Lisa
Lisa,
always
you
coming
never
through.
disappoint. You are always here to represent and show love, as is Mati and all the others that come through. That come through the show. She's going in now. Oh, really? So you just playing with us today? So you was never actually a teacher. You're just trying to steal the light from the teachers today. Okay. Okay. I'm thinking that's Mati. That's Clary. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I see you up in here. Okay, Lisa. Yeah, we can't either. Y'all got in here and it's going crazy in the comments. I love it. Unless they give it permission. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, this guy was getting so upset that he couldn't get back on to Facebook to continue his reign of terror. And one of the things that I thought was very interesting is the fact that Mark Zuckerberg wants to like be like, he's like, just leave me out of it. Dude, it's your baby. We can't leave you out of it. But he's literally like, he hired a board to make the decision whether or not Trump was able to come back. The board, of course, was like, nah. But like everybody is like, I mean, well, not even everybody, but everybody in Trump's camp, they're so upset because they're like, well, you put an indefinite ban on us. You didn't give us a time frame as far as how long we're banned before we can come back. And like Tyrone, did his actions warrant an indefinite, like never come back type ban?
Well, I mean, absolutely. I feel like he should probably be in jail, not for Facebook stuff, but for other things. But here's the thing with Mark Zuckerberg and the way Facebook works and Trump and stuff. You know, Zuckerberg likes to be like, hey, I just created this platform to share ideas and I'm out of the way now. And now, like the way advertisement works, the way algorithms work, they were able to, use those things against Facebook almost, you know what I mean? They being like Trump and his people, putting ideas out there and knowing who they're targeting, you know what I mean? With certain advertisements, certain groups, they're looking for certain people and stuff. Like this wasn't just a bunch of people saying, oh, I think that, here's what I believe, this and that. No, they were out there with a very, very targeted misinformation campaign. Honestly, Zuckerberg himself is probably just as culpable, if we're really getting into it. But he need this. There's free speech, and free speech is something that is protected, and it is something that's protected by the Constitution for all of us, most of us. What he was doing, it's outside of the bounds of free speech. Facebook's a private company; they could do whatever they want. He's got no recourse. If he wants to do any kind of social media stuff, go ahead and create your own social media platform. Exactly. I mean, they tried that with Parler. They ended up getting shut down because they're a bunch of idiots. But, that's, keep trying that. Go do your own, call it Trump book or whatever and do that. And you see how long that lasts. You could go bankrupt again, go out and go bankrupt for the 7th time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something else that's going on in the news is they did a report I guess recently, and they were showing how many Americans have been vaccinated since the vaccines come out. I think it was like 58% or something like that, 56 or 58%, something to that number. And the president, Joe Biden, wants to have it at 70%.
Right.
And I think he wants that to happen by July. I believe he said I think it was July.
Right. Yeah. Setting that new goal. Yeah.
Yeah. He's setting a goal to be at 70%. So what they've done now is literally make it more easily accessible for you to get the vaccine. So now you can like go to drugstores and, go in there and I guess I don't know if they give you the shot or if they give you the stuff and you give yourself the shot. I don't know.
Oh, no, they give it to you. You would need to have a professional administer the shot for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you can go to your neighborhood drugstore and get the vaccine. They're also having pop-up spots like just all over, so that, if you're driving by and you're like, hey man, I feel like getting a vaccine today, you can just go pull up and go get you a vaccine and be on your way. Now, the problem, because I actually have a friend who like heads one of those those locations. And one of the things is like, where she heads it at, it's in a rural area. So well, not really a rural area. It's more in a low income area, put it like that. It's more in a low income area. So, and what's happening from just conversations is that there is a small amount of people that are going like daily to get these shots. So now it's like the only way to really get people to come get the shot is to incentivize it. You know what I'm saying? To give them something for taking the shot, make you feel like, like you gain something as well as the shot. Do you think incentivizing people, because they're given, it's like right now, we're in a predicament where, people are staying home and not working because they're making more money by letting the government just give them a check than they would be working. And I wonder, does the government, if they're like really pressed, if this whole push for 70% doesn't happen, do you then start sending everybody checks? Like, okay, well, look, we'll send you a check if you take the shot. You know what I mean? Is that like the next step in the process?
Yeah, I think I do like that they're incentivizing it. I think it's important, mainly because the whole reason for the goal of I mean, I wish I could have gotten it, Brian. The only thing I might have gotten is a free Krispy Kreme donut at the time where I got it. But no, it's the 70% threshold is like the lowest number that you could possibly get to reach what they call herd immunity in the country. You need to be between 70 and 90% vaccinated population. And what that'll do is it'll make it so the virus has less of a chance to, mutate and replicate and pass and stuff like that. So the push to get to that point so we can actually return to, some semblance of normal life is what they're doing. So it's very, I think it's smart to incentivize it. But you touched on a big thing because, there are people that are staying home and instead of going back to their low wage jobs, they're like, hey, I can actually do okay. And what I hope this is, and what I think it is a lot of people are realizing that there are a lot of companies out there who have been, basically able to pay their people start, you know what I mean? To, in order to keep their profits high and stuff like that. So, hopefully what that'll be is people are like, hey, I'm not going to go back to work for $8 an hour. You know what I mean? Then I'm not going to do that. And they want to, when it's time to come back to work, hopefully they'll have some higher wages to come back to. Maybe the companies that are paying these low wages will start to appreciate their people more. Pay their people more than what they are paying them, so they don't have to be, subsidized with food stamps and assistance and stuff like that, and they can actually provide for themselves and their families.
Well, I'm looking at this comment from our comment section. It says, "Well, if they send that check, they better reimburse you." Now, I'm not saying that this is the case, but can they reimburse your life if you die? Like, is there a way to reimburse you? In that case, I'm not saying that it is, because there's a lot of people that have taken the vaccine and have been fine a few days or, some days later. So, it is, I'm not going to say it's proven to work, but
what is proven to work?
Okay. Well,
yeah, it is proven to work. Cause I want to make sure that we're not like, do still the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the hesitancy and stuff like that. But it is proven to work. It is a safe vaccine.
I got to stop you. There's no such thing as a safe vaccine, because there's no vaccine that's 100% safe. So when you start talking percentages and you start getting into the realm of whether a thing is safe or not, there are so many different things that have to go right for a thing to be successful. We took the flu virus for many, many years, only to find out later that the flu virus was like 16%, covered you like 16%, or it was a low number. It wasn't like a high number. It wasn't like a, 58.
But the flu virus and flu vaccines don't compare to this vaccine because it's a completely different vaccine type. The flu virus vaccines are always a weakened or a smaller amount of the actual flu virus, which there are many different strains of, which is why the efficacy is different. It depends on what strain is going to be, most prevalent that season, where you are geographically, and that kind of thing. So yes, flu vaccines, while still very effective, have less of an efficacy than this mRNA vaccine, which is completely different, involves no actual coronavirus. It is only sort of an instruction manual for your body to create the necessary antibodies to fight the disease if you should get it.
But in that statement, you could still get it, right?
You can still, yeah. So you can absolutely still contract coronavirus. What the difference is with the vaccine, if you're one of the people that got vaccinated, you have a very, very, very small chance of getting a serious version of the virus. Very, very small, like incredibly small. But like with anything, nothing is 100%. But you do have that very, very small chance of getting a more severe version. But it's going to save many lives and is going to stop many people from getting sick and being hospitalized.
Well, that's good. I'm so happy for you.
I got mine. Yeah, I got mine a couple months ago or a month ago.
Death on anyone like that. Like, let's be very clear on that. Let me make sure I make that statement clear. I'm not wishing death on anyone. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, bro. But I just when something.
Also, I want to. Scott's wrong. It does not shed. Vaccine shedding is not a thing. So.
It doesn't.
Yeah, okay. That's not. Yeah, there have been a lot of misinformation campaigns surrounding this vaccine. The idea that it sheds and can affect people's fertility and can that kind of thing is misinformation. It's unfortunate that it happened that way, but it is misinformation. I really, really strongly suggest that when people start to look into this stuff, that you do. Really get into the reading. That's why I wanted to make sure we talk about it. Like, when we really talk about it, if we're going to talk about it, get into the reading, understand what it is biologically and scientifically and how it works. The way that people are kind of causing all of this. What is he talking about? All right, I'm gonna stop looking at here. I'm gonna stop looking at
He's like, what is he talking about? He's right. Like, this is my brother, y'all. So he definitely is opinionated like me as well. Apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, but it is good to talk about it because there are a lot of the misinformation surrounding the vaccine comes from a place of people saying, well, we don't know this, or what about this, or what if this? And these questions often have answers that we already know, but people will say, well, what about this question? And then just kind of leave it there for people to kind of, think about. And which is like good.
So we're just gonna clearly we're gonna have Tyrone freezing a lot today. So I will keep carrying on with this.
Oh, here we go. I'm back.
Look, I love the expression with the passion that we just saw on your face. It's the good thing about when it freezes, you get to see all of the passion and everything. But I mean, this is a touchy subject, and it's really one that I would love to broach when we can bring on a scientist or someone who specializes in that field, and then we can have some, we can critique, what they say as opposed to what we all have opinions on. I personally have my opinion, as do a lot of people and everything like that. So it makes sense that when you have these discussions that you have someone who is like a firsthand person that deals with that subject. And I don't want to spend too much time on this. One of the things that I do want to talk about, since we were talking virus, is post-pandemic. Now, granted, we're still technically in the pandemic, but yes, we're probably at that precipice where we're like, okay, we can start kind of getting back to where things were, and try to get back to some type of normality. And so one of the things we wanted to talk about today is how the pandemic changed you as a person, also affected your life, and where do we go now that we're, you know, kind of through the storm, or weathered the storm. So Tyrone, during this pandemic, what really changed in your life? Like what do you think like was like one of the biggest things you had to adapt to?
Yeah, well, before the pandemic, I was doing a lot of traveling. I was doing a lot of shows. Just living life normally. Things were picking up. Things were getting fast. I had barely any time, that sort of thing, and then everything just kind of shut down. And I think going into it, we were all sort of, we didn't have all the information yet. So we didn't know what we were going to be dealing with. A lot of us were like, oh yeah, we'll just kind of stay in the house for a couple of weeks. And then, after a couple of weeks, we're going to get out of this thing and it'll be contained and all this other stuff. But that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. A lot of information wasn't available to us or wasn't given to us very early on. So we ended up, in a pandemic situation. It was an adjustment for everybody. I mean, this is, I would say, one of the very few times in my lifetime, and maybe even your lifetime, where we've all suffered through the same event, through the same, world-changing event at the same time. You know what I mean? The last thing that even comes close to the kind of impact was 9/11, just because of, the impact that it had on, politically, globally, all that other stuff. So,
Absolutely.
It was a time where, at first I'm like, all right, here's where we as people all pull together and, and make sure that we come out of this great and protect each other and stuff like that. I might've been misunderstood or mistaken when I went in with that thinking, because, what it did was, give us it gave us yet one more thing to all, become very divisive about, unfortunately, which was for me, one of the biggest disappointments, because, this should be it should be like humanity versus the virus. And that should be the only teams in this situation. You know what I mean? It should be us making sure we can do everything we can to eradicate this virus. But what it came down to was a lot of other stuff that's unfortunate. But for me personally, in the beginning, it was tough to see all that happen. I had a lot of, there were a lot of days where I was mad. I was frustrated. You know what I mean? You could say I was depressed. There was a lot of that leading up. The whole first part of the pandemic, there was a lot of adjustment to be made. So, so much of it was just I buried myself in video games or whatever distractions I could do, to keep myself from just going insane. You know what I mean? I don't know how you dealt with it in the beginning. If it was, I know you had your wife and your kids and stuff like that. So it's, probably not so much alone time, but, I don't know what it was like. Yeah.
Not at all. It was like, it for me, having your kids is a wonderful thing. Let me start there. But having your kids, in the house all the time, that was the beginning of the pandemic, because you didn't want them to go outside and play. You didn't want to be around other kids. You didn't want to be around other people. You didn't want to get around other people to bring something home. So it was a lot of me and the kids' time. It was like just, us. And it was a lot of building. It was a lot of, teaching moments. It was a lot of positivity until it started to just become it became so repetitive that you were just like, you that thirst for change was like, oh my God, I just need something different. One of the things that the pandemic allowed me to do was to become acquainted with social media. For a very, very long time, I was totally against social media. I was like avidly against it because I like personal relationships. I like that interaction, that human interaction. It's important for me, for my spirit, my soul, just to interact with good people and like-minded individuals. So I've always been like an anti-social media. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've been a part of it at, you know, points in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
I've always kind of been like, you know, like I would put, you know, that in person, you know, attention before that. Like that would be like, okay, if we have no other way to communicate, cool. So it allowed me to get acquainted with social media. It allowed me to do a lot of soul searching to kind of get to know myself.
Mhm.
So there were some positive things that came about from the pandemic.
Yeah.
For me. And I think for anybody that utilized the pandemic in that way, as you know, to maybe follow a dream that you have always had,
Mhm.
that you didn't have the time to do. Maybe, like I said, you know, reevaluate yourself. Look, deal with mental health issues. You
Mhm.
know, you now have time to go, you know, virtually, you know, talk to a
Therapist or
psychologist or
psychologist
therapist
or
or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it gave us opportunities to address things that maybe we wouldn't have had an opportunity to address because
Absolutely.
we had such busy lives and everything. Because before pre-pandemic, you were doing, you know, comedy, you know what I'm saying? Like you were like, everybody was, you know, everything was in motion, you know,
Yeah.
the dating game, you know, all of the things that go along with, you know, being able to be sociable.
Right.
And the pandemic kind of took all of that away from us for a little while and made us do some real soul searching.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Peel back a little bit of a curtain. You know, so many of those things are also, you know, distractions. You know, whether or not they're, you know, good or bad or whatever. A lot of those things are distractions. I mean, I gotta see what Lisa says here. Yeah. No. You know, Lisa. Yeah. You and your family. You know, we all. You know, it's what, like I said earlier, it's one of those things that, you know, we all kind of went through this together, and we had these, you know, these big life-changing moments. You know, we realized how fickle life can be, and for me personally, it made me realize how distracted I was from life itself. It was more just kind of like trying to fill time. It was just trying to, as I can, almost to just keep myself from you know, from really diving deep. But like once I had to dive deep into it, I mean, you know, I've been open about it on this show and other shows that you know, I took the time to you know, to start therapy during the pandemic, and that was a huge thing for me. I wish this one had a name, but we'll say it's
no, this is
okay.
my nephew's mom.
Okay, all right.
And that's really my nephew. He's not just
Okay.
calling him my nephew. That's really my nephew. And yeah, though, see, in her case, I understand because I've had people close to me. I didn't actually lose anyone close to me, but I've had people close to me lose people that were
Right.
close to them
Yeah.
during the pandemic. And one of those people was my best friend's grandmother. And he lost her, and you don't understand how much it hurt him to not even be able to go to the
Right.
funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, it's because it was so, you know, and this was in New Jersey. So this
Right.
was like, you know, it was like really bad up there at that time. So it was just you couldn't, you know, as much as
Yeah.
you wanted to go, you had other people to think about. And so I definitely see where she's coming from, having someone who's already having health issues, and you know what I mean? Like for those people, listen, again, I'm not telling anyone not to take the vaccine. I'm talking about what I choose to do, what my preference is. My preference is not to take it. That's me. If you have to take it, or you have reasons that you have to take it, I'm not here to bash you. I'm not here to tell you not to. Do what is best for you and yours. I'm gonna always tell you that. Like, no matter what it is, always do what's best for you and best for the people that you love. So I'm not mad at her at all for taking the vaccine. If it works for you, cool. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't, cool too. You know what I mean? But that's something that, you have to deal with and everybody else has to deal with. So I'm not mad at anybody for taking the vaccine. Let me be clear on that. Do what's best for you and your family. But yeah, you're right. The pandemic really gave us that inward, to that ability to look inward. You know what I'm saying? So, this is really one of those things, man, that it a lot of people, some people can look at it as something beneficial, and then some people will look at it, depending on how it affected their people closest to them, as being a tragedy. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's at this point, looking forward, because we are starting to see a ray of sunshine. I wonder, even with, things lightening up, will we ever fully go back to that normality, or do we still have this like underlying cautionary, like, are we still all going to walk around with masks in our pocket? Are we all still going to, even if you're not wearing it, but just have it just in case somebody starts coughing all of a sudden, like, like, are you now going to, every time somebody coughs, you'll be like, okay, we're good now. No, commence to coughing, sir.
Like, no, I know.
Like,
well, for me,
from here, man, where do we go now that we've gotten through, maybe the most difficult part of it?
Yeah, well, I think for me personally, I hope that the vaccine numbers continue to rise. I know they started dropping, but I hope they continue to rise so we can reach that herd immunity. And, if there's a small percentage I don't want to get it, they don't have to, and they don't have to worry about getting sick, because I care about them too. I don't want them to get sick either. You know what I mean? I hope enough of us get vaccinated so you don't have to, and you don't have to get sick. You know what I'm talking about? So that's, I hope that's the case. I think that for me, like, if I'm on a plane, or if I'm on if I'm on public transportation, or if I'm in some kind of close quarter crowded area, I might have a mask in my pocket. Because here's the thing, I haven't gotten sick once this year. You know what I mean? And it's because I've been masked up. I've been washing my hands. You know what I mean? Like, apparently I was a filthy beast before, because I just go, you know what I mean? Like, so now, and I thought I was one of the clean people. You know what I mean? But I was just, I guess I was just some street rat. But
you vagrant.
Yeah. But I haven't gotten sick once this year, so I'm gonna definitely kind of carry some of that with me, and make sure that where I can be most protected, as long as it's I'm not gonna be walking around outside, like going out to the mailbox putting a mask on or anything like that. It's not gonna be like that. But yeah, if I'm definitely, next time I'm on a plane, mask the whole time.
Mask
the whole time. Yeah, because those things are they're little disease tubes. Like, I don't want that. You know what I
mean? Yo, but this isn't that something though? How like, you really did not realize that you did not wash your hands as much as, like, it's so crazy. Like, I mean, because it became like everything you did, you had to wash your hands. Like, it was like you walk out the door, you touch a doorknob. Oh, gotta go wash my hands.
Yeah.
But like the fact that it took us that long, like, we've been living all this time. So all this time we've just been walking around with all these dirty behind hands. You know what I'm saying? Touching everything, rubbing our face, rubbing all, touching our mouth, eating our food. Yeah. And it's like, wow, dude, like this, it took a whole pandemic for you to learn hygiene.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, and hygiene. Well, and before, people like, and I used to, get a little bit obsessive about stuff. So, like, I've been called germaphobe before and stuff like that. So I would be the person, if I was like tailgating at a Jags game or something, I'd be the person, hoarding all the hand sanitizer and stuff like that. I was that guy. But even still, I would be in situations where I find myself getting colds or, getting the flu or whatever else, like that was happening, because it was just, you were more carefree. You know what I mean? You were just kind of, you weren't thinking I might get sick and die. You were thinking, if I get a cold, I'll be up in a couple of days. You know what I mean? So, so I think I'm going to carry some of that stuff with me. I feel you on that, Lisa.
Howie Mandel. So Howie Mandel's had it right the whole time. The whole time Howie's been out here air hugging people like, like,
there's some other,
right? Howie.
No, but there are some other examples of kind of how things are going to be different. I think when you look at all the stuff that because so many of the distractions were gone, the curtain got peeled back on so many on so many things that we struggle with as a nation and as a world that we didn't realize were so prevalent, or some people didn't realize were so prevalent. I think now it's going to be impossible for people to ignore racial injustices and it's going to be impossible for people to ignore, rises in police violence, stuff like that. So it's these things. I think there are going to be some social movement continue out of this because everybody's a little bit more awake now than they were before.
Well, my question would be, once we go back to that normality and that normalcy, do we kind of revert back? Because we've been known as in the history of man to do that, to revert back to our
comfort zone.
Our comfort zone, our carnal selves. So the pandemic allowed us to focus more on those problems because there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
But once life starts, once the NFL comes back, really comes back, and once basketball's kind of pretty much back. But when baseball and all the sports, soccer, and all of these things that kind of held our attention before,
right?
All of the outlets are focused on other things.
Yep.
Do we then kind of revert back to where we were before? Because that's kind of been the history of how we do things.
Well, I think it's a great point, and I think there are going to be a lot of people who want to. I think a lot of people want to see things exactly like they are before. I think those are probably people who were in more privileged positions. You know what I mean? Like before pandemic, life was just going great for them, and they wanted to go right back to normal. I think it's going to depend on. We're going to have to start taking more leadership roles in our communities. I think when I think about people like, TJ, when I think about people like Vince, and how they, they're so active in their community and they help to kind of keep those, they help to kind of keep those things in the front of people's minds and right in front of people's faces. I think we're going to have to do a lot more of that. I know for me personally, before when I would do stand up, I would talk about race issues and stuff like that, but I would do it in such a way where, I would be like, well, I don't want to offend my audience, not that I don't want to offend my audience, but I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I would worry about making, a white audience uncomfortable and stuff. Now it's like, all right, what needs to be said? What experiences can I share to make somebody understand better? What conversations were we not having before that we can absolutely have now because those barriers have been broken down. And I know that I absolutely commit to, as I move forward, not getting back to that comfort zone, not just taking an opportunity to just, everything be silly and whatever else, but, really do what I can to leave my mark and to make whatever positive change I can make within my capabilities. I'm not a very popular person. I don't have a following or a bunch of fans or anything like that. But hopefully I can help to change some minds, maybe, open up some people's eyes to some things that they might not have seen otherwise. So I hope more people are willing to keep doing the hard work to make things better. But I don't know. If it's going to be a wide thing. I think it is something to be concerned about, whether we do backslide into just kind of the same old, just distractions and meaningless stuff and just the same structures, the same systems, that sort of thing. I feel you on that.
Yeah, because what I've seen is a really strong move of pacification. Mm-hmm. That's what I've seen. That's what I said. It's one of those things like, okay, yeah, we violated you guys. Yeah, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. Here, let us feed you some money. Let's give you some money for all of the trouble we've caused and kind of get you to, just keep moving. Let's keep you moving. Let's keep you with the groove of things. And I wonder when, as with any baby, when you stop feeding it, it cries, it throws a fit. It has, this temper tantrum. I'm wondering if that's not what you get when you decide to cut off people from these large unemployment checks, and you tell people, look, okay, we've done everything we're going to do. Now you got to get back out there. But you've now given people this comfortability, this place of comfortability where they're just, they've been okay with not, working and not going out there and doing what they have to do. because you have been taken care of. So what happens then? What happens, when that backlash happens? Because that is going to happen. That is definitely going to happen.
Yeah. Well, and I think ultimately it will be a positive thing. I think what we need to do is, and this kind of touches a little bit on the point on the push for a $15 minimum wage. And I know that can be a volatile topic. But the bottom line is, whether it's, grocery stores or fast food restaurants or, retail establishments and stuff, there are a lot of people working really, really hard and not getting paid enough money to have, some sort of life they could be comfortable with. And our system has always depended on that fact. We've depended on exploiting low wage workers, so the people that are a little bit higher up on the chain get to be more comfortable. And and so now that we've seen that, not only that it's been exposed, because as soon as what was happening, as soon as the pandemic started, they were like, essential workers, like, the McDonald's guy's essential worker, and this person's essential worker, and they were like, so we need you to go to your jobs, with your $7.50 an hour, and save all of our lives. You're heroes. And then when it comes time to pay them, they're like, calm down a little bit, hero. Like, we don't, what I mean? So but there's going to be a push. Like once people, we're going to ask people to go back and keep on making $7.50 an hour, after they've seen that they can be taken, like there's a standard of life that can be obtained by very simple means. You know what I mean? Like we should all expect for each and every one of us that we can all live a certain standard of life. There's no reason that we can't all live, just a basic dignified human life. And I think that's going to be the next big push after the pandemic, because we got a lot of things exposed to us, Jeff Bezos and, Elon Musk making billions and billions of dollars off the pandemic and stuff. Meanwhile, people are starving and dying in the streets, and, they lost their houses because they couldn't pay their mortgage or rent. So they're living in tents on the street, that kind of thing. That kind of stuff is what revolutions are made of. And this is not going to just go away.
Now, one of the things that one of my concerns with, when, because you just made a really profound statement, is the drive mechanism that is in some people and not in others. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to, kind of allow that pacification process to occur, because you're a willing participant. But I think there were some people that were like, okay, I'll take some of your money, but I'll take your money so that I can use your money to incorporate myself, to put myself in a position to be successful, to make this work for me rather than me work for you. You know what I'm saying? In essence. And that drive is something that kind of leads me into our next topic, which is where do we go wrong? And the reason I use this statement is because a lot of times when we start relationships with people, we don't really vet them. We don't really find out their background. We don't really listen to, the stuff that they tell us. We just are so infatuated with their good looks or their charm or their, their swagger or whatever it is that you're attracted to the most. And so sometimes you allow these relationships to grow into something that it's not meant to be. And when I say that, I mean, say you've met an individual, you like them initially, and you guys are like really, really attracted to each other. So you become intimate. Mm-hmm. You become intimate to the point where you start becoming negligent of the safety precautions that come into play when you become intimate. So now the repercussions of your intimacy and your negligence become a child. In essence, you have a child together. That child grows up with inefficiencies that you probably would have been aware of, had you taken the time to vet that person and really understand who they were rather than just how they made you feel. And that is one of the big things that I see in society is a lot of people that are deficient in a lot of things. And it's not because they're incapable. It's because they don't desire to change. They don't desire to do the necessary steps or take the necessary steps to better themselves or become more efficient in those places that they're deficient in. So have you ever met someone that you're like, oh my God, like just wrapped up in their beauty and everything like that, but then like after you date them for a few months, you find out that they're like just a total just prick, or just like like you just like, God, like, wow, girl, you are like, I don't know what happened. Like, what did I see in you? Like, have you been in that situation before?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've dated women who after getting to know them, I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work for a plethora of reasons or whatever. And I'm sure that a lot of women would, have that same experience with me. They might be like, yeah, I dated this dude Tyrone and everything seemed all right. But then turns out, he was this or that, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't want to put that out on everybody else. But, I think the important thing is what standard, like what measurements are we using to measure whether somebody has deficiencies or whether somebody is, a productive member of society or somebody with drive and things like that. A lot of the scale by which we measure these types of things is one that we've all just kind of accepted as, our way of life, which is just the system that we live in. So it's like, you're a productive member of society if you can make this many dollars, or if you can produce these goods or whatever else. And we forget about a lot of the human parts of people. Right now, the way our system works, we are resources. You know what I mean? Our bodies, our capital. Mm-hmm. We are born to work into a system where we sell our time and our bodies so we can get paid, so we can live. But it's like we have to do all these things to earn the right to live. I think that, and I hope that what I kind of steer myself towards is valuing people first, just to like, there's a certain standard of value that people have just by being born, just by being people. They are valuable, they are worth it, and that kind of stuff. And then you'll have people that, may become great and do whatever else. And you'll have some people that, maybe they just want to hang out. Maybe they just want to chill, but those people are still valuable. So I try to value people's humanity over what they produce or what they can do for me or what they can do for other people. But it is, that's a whole philosophy shift. But as far as relationships are concerned, just me and the next woman I meet. I think it comes back to communication and mental health. You know what I mean? Like we talked about it so much. Put your true self out there. Don't just try to put your best self out there. Mm-hmm. Put your true self out there. You know what I mean? Introduce people to who you really are. That way they can really get to know you and they can really decide how far this thing is supposed to go. Because if you're dressing all, dress it all up and looking all good and you got all the best things about you listed off so you can tell somebody what's up. And then, a couple months down the line, they're like, oh, so, you got this going on or you got that going on. I didn't know that before, so it's, I think it's honesty. It's putting your best self out there. Sorry, putting your true self out there and being good with that and finding somebody who's good with that.
But isn't that the problem, really? That as a society, we aren't happy with ourselves as individuals. A lot of us literally have this, breakdown of ourselves. Like when we look in the mirror, we don't see what other people see. Mm-hmm. We see all the flaws. That's the way we're designed. Like we literally pick out the flaws and address and like kind of zero in on those and don't like zero in on our gifts, on the things that kind of make us the best versions of ourselves. And where as a society are we going wrong in those regards? Like, is it the parenting? Is it are we starting our kids off on the wrong path initially? And then it's hard once because you've done it so long and it's become habit to break those habits? And is that why now we have so many individuals that when you say put the best version out, they are putting the best version out, but they're not putting the best version of themselves. They're putting the best version that they think will appeal to you. So, is it basically, is this an inherent trait, or is this something that we teach to our children at a very young age? And so therefore we can't really be mad at the outcome, because this is kind of the way they were molded.
Well, I think it's both nature and nurture. I think that, there might be, for example, there are things about myself that I know are just kind of in me. You know what I mean? Like, I know that there are things that I do that I'm just like, I don't know why I do this, but I do this. Like, I procrastinate like crazy, and I'm trying to work on it as much as I can, but it's almost like a default. I don't know why I can't get out of it. You know what I mean? So I'm working as hard as I can on that. So but I think a lot of that is my nature. So I'm just going to have to find ways to, to work around it. But then there's like our environment, and I think this is where a lot of the mix up in the value systems come from, is because of our environment. Like, you look around us, you were talking about, not loving ourselves the way we should, or maybe we don't feel we don't feel as strongly about ourselves as we really should. But that's because we're not told to value ourselves. Like, we are told to value and covet things outside of ourselves to validate ourselves. So maybe I don't feel handsome, maybe I don't feel pretty, whatever. Maybe I'd feel handsome, or maybe I feel pretty if I bought this jacket, or maybe if I bought these shoes, you know what I mean? Or like, maybe I would feel like I was more successful if I bought this car over here, and everybody could see me driving around in this car looking all successful. Those are the things that we covet to give ourselves what we feel we're worth. We have to start with our self-worth, and then everything else after that is just, it loses its value. Like, when we can look out at something, I used to be really into cars. Like, I used to like see a Ferrari and be like, oh man, one day I'm gonna drive that Ferrari. And but I used to be really into that kind of stuff. And it's because I thought that if I got to that point where I'm driving a Ferrari, then I've killed it. I've nailed it. I'm a happy person. I'm, this and that. But that's not necessarily the case. That just means I spent $250,000 on a car. That's all that means. You know what I mean? So now my goals are different. It's like, I know that whatever happiness that I find is going to be found inside. And then I'm going to be even better equipped to make my outside life as good as it can possibly be. Because before I was going down the path of just trying to collect as much money as I can, and trying to, I was working a job I didn't like and stuff like that, just so I could get paid, so I could reach a certain amount of money and be happy. It's not how happiness works.
It's not.
And that's how we're taught very early on in our lives. It's go to school, get education, so you can get a good job, so you can make enough money to support you and your family and buy all the things that you want, and then you'll be happy. Yep. Nowhere in there do we learn about, taking care of ourselves, our minds, our bodies, that kind of thing. That's all just kind of ancillary stuff. Yeah. Happiness is going to come from within first. And then all the other stuff, all the outside stuff loses its value, and all that value that it loses gets put into yourself. You become more valuable. Well,
how do you really combat that master manipulator? The one that has that representative that, is the MVP of the league. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, he or she is very good at their work. They're the Michael Jordan of the game. How do you combat that? Because again, you're going to come into any relationship with an idealistic behavior, whatever it may be. But you're going to come into it initially, based on, how you react to that person. So if it's attraction for you, if you're attracted to beauty or something like that, and this is a beautiful person, and they appear to have everything that you have, everything that you want in a person. But then you realize later on, after it's too late, because you've been enveloped in this mirage. You're now, because once you get sucked in, like for whoever is out there in the crowd or out there in the world, and haven't experienced this, you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you've experienced being like sucked in, like that that whole whirlpool effect where you're like, oh, I'm caught, I can't get out. Like, like when you're like that, then you understand where I'm coming from. But if you haven't, this probably all sounds really vague and and uninteresting. But for those people who do get trapped and sucked in before they realize that the world, the whirlpool is actually caught them in tow, how do you like literally fight against that and defend yourself against that, or even reverse that, like not even just defend yourself, but how do you not perpetuate that if that's you? Like,
right.
You're like, if that's you, how do I not, put that onto someone else without them their knowledge or whatever?
Yeah, no, that is the question, and it's the answer. In a very vague way is work. I know Vince is like over here like heckling in the nicest way possible. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
This is what he does, man. This is what he does, man.
Y'all got to come hang out tomorrow. If you haven't already made plans to come hang out tomorrow at Geek Easy Show,
hey, we're gonna have a blast, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna shave Vince's head on stage.
No, but to answer your question though, because it's a really good question.
Right.
It does start with the self. And it's work. It's really hard to take a look at yourself and be like, I'm gonna list the things that I can really work on. Like not just like I think I wish I had I wish I had smaller eyebrows, or like I wish I had this or that. You know what I mean? Like, but things that matter. Like I had an issue. Just to put this, I put myself out here all the time. I'm like, everybody's gonna know all my shit, but whatever. Who cares? Hopefully it helps somebody. Hopefully somebody gets a no. But
you'll help somebody.
Yeah, I got into a situation like you were talking about. And what it came down to was it was me not realizing the right things that I needed for me. So I'm out there looking for somebody based on what I think other people value. I wanted the most beautiful woman. I wanted to be able to walk down the street and people are like, heads are turning and stuff like that. Like, damn, look at this couple, or look at this, look, this guy's lucky, or whatever, that kind of stuff. All that was doing was giving me just like a moment where my value, I could perceive my value in this other person or in these other people that are giving me this kind of adulation or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it took some work, and I realized, I was like, okay, I was seeking validation from everybody but myself. At some point, you have to be able to tell yourself, like, yeah, I'm like, not only like, am I okay, but like, I'm pretty good. Like, this is good. And I deserve everything. Yeah. I deserve a healthy relationship. I deserve respect. I deserve love. Like, you got to really convince yourself that you deserve these things, because everything around us is constantly convincing us that we don't. Mm-hmm. Or we haven't worked hard enough for it, or we haven't fought hard enough, whatever. But we have an inherent, we have, just by being here, we deserve certain things. Mm-hmm. We deserve dignity. We deserve respect. We deserve love. We deserve, friendship and honesty and loyalty and those kind of things that are kind of hard to come by sometimes, because we accept it that way. I'm sure we've all had relationships or friendships or work people or whatever else who have been disrespectful or disloyal, or take whatever pleasure they can in your demise or your failures or whatever else. But we keep them around because we feel like if we have people that are around us, if we have people who are looking at us and they're, and they're watching us and stuff, then we're doing all right. But no, it's not about how many people you collect, or it's not about who's giving you the most, the most love, who's giving you the most likes, who's giving you the, who's shouting you out the loudest. It's like, do you have people that are really, really invested in you becoming the best version of yourself? Mm-hmm. So it's that's a very long-winded way to say first things first, and convince yourself that you deserve the best that life has to offer.
Yeah, we talked about this briefly, I think last week, where I think I might have mentioned, it's okay it really is okay to be selfish with yourself. Mm-hmm. Like that. Like, I think people misunderstand, like when you use the word selfishness, it has this kind of derogatory undertone where it's like, if you say selfishness, you know, it's associated with, you know, bad, like you're not a good person because you're selfish. But sometimes that's required.
Yeah.
You have to at some point disconnect from everybody else and everything else and focus on self in the inside of yourself, because it resonates outward.
Yep.
Like your light shines outward. Like it may resonate in you, but it shines outward. So if you are feeding the source, which is your inside, then everything you project is going to be positive. And you know, I mean, and that is not to say that you're not still going to run into the same problems and the same trials and tribulations that everybody else in the world you know, runs into. But what it does allow you is the ability to be equipped to deal with those type of situations. So I say this to anybody who's listening. Don't feel as though you're being selfish if you attend to yourself. Right. Like that you are, if anything, you're being more appreciative than anybody else to yourself. You know, you're showing yourself that you love you enough to make sure I'm okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And by me being okay, I can make sure that you're okay. But I can't make sure you're okay if I'm not okay. Yeah. Because like it's gonna be, I can put that energy out, but it's never gonna like rejuvenate. Like that's the part that you're just gonna constantly be exuding energy and never replenishing it. Right. And that and if you do that you know, over time, it'll kill you. It literally will kill you. Yeah. Like this is not figuratively. This is physically. It will kill you because you are exerting so much energy and so much time, so much passion into all of these other things outside of yourself that you never ever take the time to fix what's going on inside of you. Yeah. And then it eventually just overflows and takes over. Exactly. And people will let you kill yourself for them. And they'll watch it happen. And like I've got somebody I know, and they one of the most generous giving people that I know, and often I'll be talking to them, and recently I was talking to them, and they were having an issue with somebody, and they said I've tried, you know, I've tried talking to them, I've tried texting, I've tried everything, I've done so much, but like they're still feeling this way. What else can I do? And I'm like, first you need to stop asking that question. Like you've already done more than anybody can do. Like exactly. And what you're doing is you're just giving this person everything to just throw in the garbage. When you take care of yourself, when you really have that strength in yourself, and like you said, that kind of selfishness, it actually allows you to be better for other people. Absolutely. If you're somebody who gives, if you're somebody who loves to give to people, whether it's emotionally or you know, financially or whatever else, if you like to give to people, you need to have to give, you know, so it's like you need to have that strength within yourself. You need to have that real foundation within yourself so you can actually give and be okay yourself. And the more you work on yourself, the more you'll have to give to people, the better the people around you will be for it. So, you know, just try to turn in before you go trying to save people. I mean, it's every superhero movie we've ever seen, every superhero story we've ever seen. Before you go trying to save people, you got to save yourself. You gotta be the best version of yourself that you could possibly be. Yeah. And please, again, don't let that word selfishness, you know, stop you from doing this. Yeah. Because that is, I mean, words have power but they only have power if you let them. Like, be clear on that. You know, they're just words. We empower the words. The words don't empower us. So, you know, take that into consideration. And truly, you know, take time. You know, one of the things that I think is going to be a constant on this show is addressing internal issues, seeking out help, seeking out support systems, you know, finding people that are willing to put energy into you, as well as being able, basically people that will reciprocate. You know, don't just big word, you know, don't surround yourself with people that you're constantly putting energy into and it's never coming back, because like I said, you'll literally kill yourself. Yeah. And, we want you guys to stay around. Hey man, it's been another fun week, man. These conversations, man, I'm telling you, man, this is life for me. This is life for me. This like literally, reboosts my energy, recharges my energy. Every week I come, I'm like this, and then I get on the show and I'm like, I feel like Power Man all of this.
It feels good, man. It feels good. Yeah. And the comment section is better every week. I don't know. I'm sure you see it. And I love to see everybody, engaging and stuff. And also like to know that there are a lot of people out there like really doing the work too. Like it's good to know that we have this community where we can all just kind of like learn to be better people together. And that's the thing. We're all learning. We're all growing, and it's, this is the good, like we're doing the good stuff. Like this is the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like let's revel in that. Let's just celebrate that. Like we should celebrate each other. I think everybody here is doing great.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, definitely. I just want to kind of reaffirm what my cohort has just said is we appreciate everyone that comes by, shows love, throws a like, a comment, a share. Just comes in and just and kills the comment section. We appreciate y'all. We are here trying to have these conversations because we know that, and there's someone out there that needs to hear this. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for
that,
popping it in,
Vince Taylor. Thank you for that. This is true. Yeah. Again, we appreciate everybody that's come through. And continually supports us. We're here having these conversations every week, hoping that there's someone out there that needed to hear this and it somehow benefits them and helps them, to move forward in life in any way, shape, or form. So we don't sit here and act like we know everything. We don't know everything, but we try to share, what we feel and hope that it reaches you and touches someone close to you or whatever the case may be. But as always, I love these conversations. I love that I have my co-host who is like, yo, like he's my yin to he's my yin. He's my yang to my yin, you know what I mean? But nah, really real talk. We do appreciate everybody. I want everybody to know how much we appreciate y'all. Tyrone, I want you to go ahead and let the people know, where they can find you, where where you're gonna be, and anything else you want to let them know.
Yeah, tomorrow at the Geek Easy in Orlando, me, Ty Bricks, Vince Taylor, Yaz the Model, TJ Legacy Cole's going to be there. Monty's going to be there. It's going to be Sam Ivy's going to be there. It's going to be such a crazy day and crazy evening. I'm so looking forward to it. If you haven't already made plans to be in Orlando for that show, and you have the availability, be there. I'm telling you, be there. Let's see what else I got coming up. Of course, Saturday morning, New Blurred Order. We get around and it's a little bit lighter than this show. We talk about stuff that's a little bit easier on the mind and the body. But like this is where you come to get your workout in.
Yeah,
and
you don't need
go
a college degree at the New Blurred Order.
but yeah, so it's definitely join us Saturday morning, New Blurred Order, and I'm all pumped up from this conversation. I feel good. I feel healthy. So I'm like, a lot of it's just hazy right now. I'm feeling the euphoria from that conversation.
Well, man, this is what we're here for, man. So again, just to reaffirm what my cohort has just said, we will be at the Geek Easy tomorrow, man. It's gonna be lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still can get in free before 8. After 8 p.m., it'll be a $10 cover, but that also includes a free drink. So we hope to see everybody there. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Again, Saturday, 9:00, New Blurred Order. Every week, 6:30 here, Multiverse. You can get at us now. We do have the Multiverse fan page up. So if you have not, followed our page, please go to our page, like and follow. And also my fan page is at Bad Ty Bricks. That's also up. So please go like and follow as well. And please like, comment, share the video. And we will be back next week with some more fire content. And I hope to see everybody there. But until then, we're out.
It's yours.
Whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world